Okay.
Wait a minute, is that? It's for sale.
Yeah. Okay, we're going to start. All right. Good evening, everybody, and I'd like to welcome you this evening to the Columbus Common Council regular meeting on this day, Tuesday, October 17th, 2023. And I also welcome the people that are viewing this online. So if I could have a roll call, please.
Finkler?
Here.
Hammer?
Here.
Gray?
Present.
Motive?
Present.
Reed?
Here.
Rolke?
Present.
Steiner?
Here. And if you could join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, and we have had notice of open meeting, is that correct? And then I would look for a motion to approve tonight's agenda.
Alder Motive will make a motion to approve tonight's agenda.
Alder Finkler will second.
Okay, I have a motion from Alder Motive and a second from Alder Finkler to approve tonight's agenda. Any discussion on this? Alder Reed?
Was there a citizen comment section?
Well, it says correspondence and communications.
I'll go under
so
that, okay.
Yeah, it would go under that, yep. So hearing none other, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Agenda approved. And now tonight we have citizen comment. Start off with is Ron Curtis. So would you prefer to speak at the committee of the whole?
The Council of the whole.
Okay. Okay. Next would be Henry, if you would go up, state your name and address, and
No, it's not. He's going to get it for you. Don't worry about it. It's going to be on in a split second. There
it
you
is.
go. It's on.
It's on.
It's on.
But it is on.
Thank you.
Sure.
I'm Henry St. Maurice, 954 Dick Street, Columbus. I'm here in the matter of a small donation to the City Department of Public Works. I'd like to explain why that is so. First of all, as a city employee, part-time crossing guard, I thought that I was within my purview. Secondly, we have a dead or dying maple tree on our property on Dick Street. I found myself saying to myself, you know, I could take some of those limbs off for firewood, and then I heard a voice saying, "Don't you dare, at your age." That voice was my wife's. So I have a battery-powered saw for cleanup. I have two gas-powered saws I've had for years. I've been handling saws my whole life. And my first thought was to donate them to the city with no strings attached. But when that tree does come down, I'd like some of those tops. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you, Henry. Okay, and next on the agenda is to approve the consent agenda, which is Council and Committee of the Whole minutes, and then also approve the operator licenses for the licensing period of July 1st, 2023 through June 30th of 2025.
Alder Motive will make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Alder Rolke will second.
Okay, I have a motion by Alder Motive and a second by Alder Rolke to approve tonight's consent agenda. Is there any further discussion on this item? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, consent agenda approved. Moving on to the first item under new business, and that is to approve the pay request for the 2023 street maintenance work that was done in the amount of $92,080. Do you have?
Alder Gray moves to approve the pay request for Wolf Pavement in the amount of $92,080.
Alder Motive will second.
Okay, I have a motion by Alder Gray and a second by Alder Motive to approve the pay request from Wolf Paving for the 2023 street maintenance. Any further discussion on this item? And we would need a roll call.
Gray,
Aye.
Motive,
Aye.
Reed,
Aye.
Rolke,
Aye.
Steiner,
Aye.
Finkler.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Okay, next on the agenda is to just get my information straight here. On the, taking action on the LRS garbage contract for 2024. You've received an updated contract here. So if there's any, would entertain a motion to approve this. And then Lisa is here from LRS if we have any questions. Jill, I'm sorry. I'm looking at her name tag, sorry about that, Jill. Well, except, yeah. I got it right in front of me, though.
Alder Motive will make a motion to approve the contract with LRS.
Alder Rolke will second.
Okay, I have a motion by Alder Motif and a second by Alder Rolke to approve the LRS contract for 2024. I just, clarification, if you could help. I know we talked about the one bulk pickup, but as I'm reading this, it's actually a monthly curbside pickup for up to 2 items?
Yes.
Okay, so there is no one per year that's just a strictly like what we've had in the past, it was done during a week. This is a monthly basis for our customers. Okay,
And the,
but the residents must call to schedule, am I reading that correct?
yeah,
Like a heads up, a schedule.
Okay, so we just need to really get that through with our, getting word out, so. Yeah, that was the only thing I think that I had for the clarification.
And we'll have that, I believe, in the things that we supply, like the calendar and phone numbers and all the next.
Okay, Alder.
Thank you.
Alder Reed.
Yeah, I don't believe that's what we had discussed or decided. We were looking against having the monthly pickup where the residents have to call ahead for a single or possibly 2 items, and looking to have the annual bulk pickup.
Okay, Alder Gray.
That is exactly what the council decided last time, was that we didn't want the monthly.
Well, if I recall, I mean, yeah, I think it was supposed to be just the one per year. But if I'm reading this, this is a bulk pickup of 2 items per month, no extra charge.
Correct, it's better.
Well, depending on the circumstance, because some people put out a lot of stuff during that one bulk pickup.
Right, so this means no bulk pickup.
Well,
Of what
so
we've
is
had.
there actually no extra charge for the bulk pickup? Like previous contracts, there were price differences whether or not we had bulk pickup.
Yeah, I'm confused.
I didn't see extra cost on that.
Yeah, but it was
it's included in
last
the-
meeting
it was,
conversation, it
yeah,
was extra cost.
Yeah.
But
So
we
I'm a
also
little
had
confused
one
on-
bulk.
Like if we're getting it for free, I'm fine.
But I think we're losing the one
Before
bulk.
it was a considerable price difference is why we weren't doing it.
Yeah.
people do have fun with that. Can't tell them my comments and yours is.
Isn't this normally something that gets talked about in a cow?
It was.
I know.
Talk about it in the this is completely out
Well, right, like the contract is updated. Wouldn't we review the updated contract in COW? Because now we have questions and it's kind of weird. We're sitting here held up.
We can come back to this one, right.
I know she's at a meeting at Cambridge, which is why she's at me. And she just can't quite answer.
Well,
She was like seventh on the agenda there, so I thought we could get her.
well, we can come back to
Alder Motif will
this,
make
so.
a motion to table this for now.
Well, do we even need a motion to table? Can
I
we just
think-
push it back, or
I think
can
we
we just
do.
push it back, Paul, or further on in,
Are you intending to take this up tonight still?
yeah.
If we can, yeah.
Then you can just move on to your next item
And then
and just
come
come
back.
back to this one when you're ready.
Sure.
Okay.
I'll send her a text, see what I can.
Okay. Right, then next on the agenda is to approve the Dodge County 911 Joint Powers Agreement as presented.
Alder Gray moves to approve the Dodge County Sheriff's Office Joint Powers Agreement.
Reed will second.
Okay, I have a motion by Alder Gray and a second by Alder Reed to approve the Dodge County 911 Joint Powers Agreement for 2024. Any further discussion on this item? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, then on to the item number 4, to take action on the Cable Commission recommendation for the LPFM application. Is there a?
Was this on the actual comment, or was it just citizen comment?
For the Dodge County? Yeah, it was, yeah.
You had me second guessing.
Nope,
Well,
we're good.
Alder Gray moves to approve the Columbus Cable Commission's request to apply for the LPFM radio station.
Alder Motif will second.
Okay, I have a motion by Alder Gray and a second by Alder Motif to approve the Cable Commission's recommendation for applying for the LPFM radio station. Any further discussion on this item?
I just had a few questions about this, and sorry I didn't ask it last time, but I wasn't speaking very well last time. But as it comes to building a radio station, I don't have a lot of information as to what is prepped for that, and there's a lot that goes into starting this thing. Like, budgeting-wise, are we going to have new employees? Who's going to be, is it a new commission, or is it going to be Cable Commission running it? What kind of content is going to create it? Who's going to create that content? How long does this stuff run for? Is it every day, or just meetings? There's a lot of questions that need to be there, and I'm not saying that we as a council have to decide what this is. That's the commission's job, but I just haven't heard any information as to what's going on. I'd still love to see this happen. I think it's great, but I'm just a little concerned that we're jumping the gun before we have anything planned and financed out, because this could be a major expense in the next year or two trying to get this worked out.
I think Ian might have been
Okay.
first.
Alder Gray.
I think the big thing to keep in perspective for now is all we're doing is approving them to apply for it. Like, we're not approving the actual radio station or any sort of cost involved. Sure. So for now, we're just seeing if it's something that they'll be able to do, and then kind of move on from there.
I was merely just pointing out to make sure that we're looking at everything before we say, okay, well, we get it, now what? You know, it's like I said, I don't want to sit here and discuss all that. I just want to make sure that these things are all properly looked at, so we're not, running before we can start to crawl, basically.
And we do have a good subject matter expert on the Cable Commission. Lisa Famularo has done it before in Sun Prairie. She has all those numbers. She's happy to share them as we get to that point. But since we're on a deadline here, the scope right now is just, can we apply for this?
Okay, any further discussion? All right, hearing none, all in favor of?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. All right, next on the agenda is to approve the position of Community and Economic Development Director, job description. Anything, City Administrator Wilson, that you'd like to add? No? Okay.
Alder Finkler will move to approve the Community and Economic Development Director job description.
Alder Motive will second.
Okay, I have a motion from Alder Finkler and a second from Alder Motive to approve the Community and Economic Development Director job description. Any discussion on this? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Now we are on to take action. Let me find my page, sorry. Yeah, okay. So this is on the discussion that we had prior, requesting approval of the wage increases as noted within the attached spreadsheet that you have. And then staff would also request that the increases proposed for the remainder of 2023 be retroactive back to October 1st of 2023. So. There it is.
I have questions. Can
Okay,
we
yeah.
discuss before? Yeah.
Need a motion for?
Yeah.
Alder Rolke will move to approve the wage for specific city position recommendations, including retroactive to October 1st for the recommended increase.
Alder Gray seconds.
Okay, I have a motion by Alder Roki and a second by Alder Gray to approve the wage increases as noted within the attached spreadsheet and being retroactive back to October 1st of 2023. So now, discussion.
Now I can have my questions. Some of these are just barely at or under median. Is this the best we can do in our budget?
Chris, as I said before, is the one that kind of worked through these and did the research on them. So I would assume at this point the answer is yes. And again, it goes back to the fact that we need to do and relook at the wage study that was completed and figure out how to implement that or figure out a way to update it so that we're not far behind like we are right now.
And will they be happy with this? I know you said you were talking with them.
Yeah, I mean, I think they were maybe told or thought they were guaranteed more. But again, in speaking with them, between the mayor and I, we did stress that we know we need to work on this moving forward. So they kind of accepted it, I think, as is, and are hoping that we will come up with a plan moving forward.
Thank you.
Any further discussion? Okay, hearing none, take a roll call, please.
Motive,
Aye.
Reed,
Aye.
Roki,
Aye.
Steiner,
Aye.
Binkler,
Aye.
Gray.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Okay, thank you. And moving on to the donation of the, accepting the donation of the chainsaws to the DPW as stated by Henry.
No.
Does a donation have to?
Everything has to go to the Congress.
Does? Normally? Okay. Well, I mean,
Yeah, we could suspend the rules.
yeah.
Alder Gray moves to suspend the rules.
Motive will second.
Okay, we have a motion by Alder Gray and a second by Alder Motive to suspend the rules for this donation. Any discussion, further discussion on this? All right, hearing none, then we do have the We have, yeah, we still have to, did we have the motion on it?
On suspending.
Oh, on suspending. Thank you. So, all in favor of suspending the rules?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Alder
And I-
Finkler will move to accept the donation of the chainsaws to the DPW.
Alder Rolke will second.
Okay, I have a motion by Alder Finkler and a second by Alder Rolke to accept the donation of the chainsaws to the DPW. Any further discussion on this? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, motion carries. And then next is to approve the claims of $455,086.20.
Alder Gray moves to approve the claims in the amount of $455,086.20.
Motive will second.
Okay, I have a motion by Alder Gray and a second by Alder Motif to approve the claims in the amount of $455,086.20. Any discussion on this item? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Reed,
Aye.
Rolke,
Aye.
Steiner,
Aye.
Vinkler,
Aye.
Gray,
Aye.
Motiv.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Okay. The one. Oh, you're all set? Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
We went monthly because, and didn't charge anything extra, because it's better for the residents, and in actuality, it's better for us. Rather than having to deal with a whole bunch of stuff at one time, we get to deal with it monthly as well, so it works for us too. That's why we're able to offer it without an additional cost, so that what's in the rate table is the same. We'd have to send, I don't know how many trucks and how many dumpsters to deal with an annual sweep, so the monthly really is a lot better for us too.
It went down $1.10.
Look at that.
It actually went down $1.10 per home.
And there's that too.
That was the state.
Oh,
The cards.
That wasn't visible.
I'm just curious, what kind of communication you give out to residents so they know how to contact LRS to pick up stuff? Because a lot of people don't.
That was spelled out in here as well. But we do, we have there'll be a whole letter that mails out to everyone, and,
Would you like regularly or just the one time?
just the one time. It'll be, I believe, up to us as a city to remind of what those days are. It very well could be on the calendar that we provide too.
Go ahead.
Alder Gray.
So I'm still, because I don't remember the cart difference only being $1.10. Was it only $1.10?
That's why it was shocking.
The $1.10 was the price per month for them to have new cards.
Right.
We came up with a lower rate that we'll be charging on the actual billing here for keeping the cards.
Okay, so,
We're working on that with the.
so is this the same price that we were looking at without carts and without the monthly bulk pickup before? Okay.
Yes.
Then I'm fine. I'm all good.
Just change the $1.10.
Okay. Well, Alder Gray moves to approve the LRS contract.
Wait. We already had the motion.
Yeah, we did.
We had some
We
questions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was Alder Motif and Rolke that had seconded.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes, no,
And you had something
discussing.
further
No,
to
I'm in,
say? Okay, Alder Reed.
Oh, thank you. For the cart price, is there going to be a separate additional fee because we're paying our old company for the carts added on?
No,
Not LRS.
No, not to LRS, but,
Yeah, we have well, I'm calculating it now, but we have to add on to the price of the LRS contract plus what we pay for the contract on a 5-year amortization, plus a 6% replacement minus the first fee that they'll give us, we're coming up with that added to it. So we're computing the rate that's gonna be in the fee schedule coming up on one of your agendas.
So we, oh, no. I'm still confused. So are we still paying Columbia separately for the carts?
Yes.
Out of this, okay, I mean, away from this contract?
Yes.
Okay.
And then a piece of that, everyone across the board will get a piece of that on their charge that we charge to the resident.
Okay.
Because they don't charge directly.
Yeah,
They
no.
charge us, we charge the resident.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Any further discussion on this? So I would need a roll call for this item.
Gray,
Aye.
Motive,
Aye.
Reed. Rolke,
Aye.
Steiner,
Aye.
Finkler.
Aye.
Motion carries.
And just so you know, item 6 was the written information spells out how contractor us will provide each resident with a written information and instruction for service at the onset of the contract of service, including an annual calendar showing the pickup day, solid waste recyclable, and express to the city. Service calendars will be posted on our website and provided to you to post on your website, your social media, et cetera, during each year of the contract, so we'll do that every year. Contractor will develop and review for approval a welcome packet mailer with the city before sending to all the residents.
Okay,
All right?
thank you very much. Jill?
Yes. Like Jack and Jill, there's no way.
So Lisa, did you have anything for report-wise that you wish to state? Nothing? Okay. Only thing I have is we will have an opening on the Community Development Authority, from what I understand, correct? Yes. And then there is also an opening on the Senior Advisory Board. So anybody that's interested, please go online and fill in a online application. And then tomorrow, the utility business manager and myself will be attending the Municipal Electric Utilities of Wisconsin legislative rally up at the state capitol, just to push speak with our representatives on the importance of public power within our communities throughout the state of Wisconsin. And then there will be a public power on parade around the Capitol Square. There at this time is over 80 trucks. I'm not sure how many utilities are represented, but over 80 trucks that will be circling around the Capitol, bringing notice to public power in the state of Wisconsin. So around the square, it's been all taken care of with the police and all organized. So that's all I have for my report. So now I would entertain a motion to convene to close session pursuant to 19.851C, considering employment, promotion, compensation, or performance evaluation data for any public employee over which the governmental body has jurisdiction or exercises responsibility, specifically Columbus Police Local WPPA number 237 employment agreement.
Alder Gray moves to convene to close session pursuant to 19.851C.
Alder Motive will second.
Okay, I have a motion from Alder Gray and a second by Alder Motive to convene to close session pursuant to 19.851C. Any discussion on this prior to? Then I would need a roll call.
Rolke,
Aye.
Steiner. Finkler,
Aye.
Gray,
Aye.
Motive,
Aye.
Reed. Motion carries.
All right, and then just have the audience leave just for the time being while we're going through this, and we will be coming back to the committee of the whole, so. Okay, at this time, I'd be looking to approve the memorandum of understanding for the remainder of the 2023 police local WPPA number 237 employment agreement.
Alder Motif will make a motion to approve the MOU.
Alder Gray seconds.
Okay.
I wasn't sure if you were going to.
Yeah, I thought she was going to go on further, so, okay. So we have a motion by Alder Motif and a second by Alder Gray to approve the MOU for the remainder of the 2023 contract. We would need a roll call, or any further discussion on this. Hearing none, we would need a roll call for this, correct? I believe.
Yes, spending money.
We're spending money.
Steiner,
Aye.
Finkler,
Aye.
Gray,
Aye.
Motif,
Aye.
Reed,
Aye.
Rolke.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Okay, next then I would entertain a motion to approve the Columbus Police Local WPPA number 237 employment agreement for years 2024 and 2025.
Alder Gray moves to approve the contract with the Columbus Professional Police Association Local 237 for the years of 2024 and 2025.
Alder Finkler will second.
Okay, we have a motion by Alder Gray and a second by Alder Finkler to approve the Columbus Police Local WPPA number 237 employment agreement. Any further discussion on this? Hearing none, roll call.
Finkler,
Aye.
Gray,
Aye.
Motif,
Aye.
Reed,
Aye.
Rolke,
Aye.
Steiner.
Aye.
Motion carries.
All right, thank you. And now I'd be looking for a motion to adjourn.
Alder Finkler moves to adjourn.
Gray will second.
Motion from Alder Finkler and a second by Alder Gray to adjourn. Any discussion on adjourning? We are adjourned. Oh, we do. We need yeah, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Now we are adjourned.
Does anybody need a break before the next one? No?
All
Okay.
right.
We will just roll right into the next one then. And I would like to welcome everybody to the Columbus Common Council Committee of the Whole meeting. It is Tuesday, October 17th, and it is about 7:22 PM. And I would take a roll call.
Finkler,
Here.
Hammer,
Here.
Gray,
Present.
Motif,
Present.
Reed,
Here.
Rolke,
Present.
Steiner. All present.
And tonight's meeting has been properly noticed. And at this time, I'll take a motion to approve the agenda.
Alder Finkler will move to approve the agenda.
Gray seconds.
Okay, I have a motion from Alder Finkler and a second from Alder Gray. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, and next on the agenda is citizen comments. It looks like Chief Weiner, you're up first.
Okay. Good evening again. Just two things real quick. I just wanted to give you an update on the purchase of the new squad that you previously approved. We did take delivery of it. It's probably not going to go for outfitting until after the first of the year, just because our vendor is now getting buried in squads that were ordered in early 2022. So it's probably going to be in the garage. We're not going to be using it, maybe other than for some errands here or there. But we did take delivery of it. As it relates to that also, I wanted you to know that last week Chevy released the 2024 pricing, and they went up $10,000. So this $41,000 squad that we bought is now $51,000. So Ford hasn't released their prices yet. That's due to come out anytime. The strike is delaying that. But Chevy released theirs because the Tahoes are built in Arlington, Texas. And as of recently, that plant had not yet been affected by the strike. But maybe will, maybe won't. So we'll save money on that end. I budgeted a big chunk of money for the entire squad project previously. So that'll save us $9,000. I budgeted $50,000 for the squad. and I've been told to order the equipment and everything else, get it done this year with this year's monies. When I got the prices for the squad video system, they went up almost $2,000. So, and we have to buy this brand because they sync with our body cameras, so we're kind of stuck. That's kind of an industry thing with all the body cameras. But the benefits of having the two systems that sync and work together and use the same software platform are one of the reasons we went with this brand of body cameras. In the end, I'm going to be many thousand under budget. What I proposed initially, just not as big as I thought I was. So we're in good ground there, and I'm going to get that other equipment ordered and paid for yet this year, so we'll be good. Secondly, October 28th, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. is the Drug Take Back Day at Prairie Ridge Health. Drive-up service. Drive up, we'll approach your car, we'll throw it in the bin, and away you go. I'll be staffing it from 9 to 11, so feel free to come out and say hi to me. Hopefully it'll be a nice day out. And we've been advertising it at the hospital. It's been on social media a few times. We put flyers up all around. It usually gets a really, really good turnout. And that's all I have for tonight. Thank you.
Next, I have, it's okay, you can leave it on. Next, I have Ron Curtis.
Thanks for leaving it on. It's a chore. Good evening. I'm Ron Curtis, 100 Brookside Lane here in town. My comments tonight, excuse me, are about agenda item number 7, the stormwater discussion. I want to thank the council for the opportunity to speak tonight. I thank you also to the current council and mayor for your attention and efforts tonight concerning the city's stormwater and related flooding issues, and for discussing moving forward from here. I want to also acknowledge and commend the previous council and mayor, some of which are still here, for proceeding with updating earlier flood studies, resulting in the current comprehensive study from 2022. An important outcome of that study is a list of prioritized projects with the purpose that the city can know and direct its efforts and resources toward the higher priority projects. My neighborhood is one that is directly impacted by stormwater problems and resulting flooding events. I and my neighbors have followed and supported the city's efforts to identify and prioritize stormwater improvements. I understand that the city has budgeted for efforts for priorities of stormwater projects in 2024. The council has before it tonight the city engineer's evaluation of 3 top priority projects with the purpose of helping the city to select a stormwater capital project for next year, for 2024. One of the engineer's 3 listed projects is identified as not being realistic for completion in 2024 because of the lead time considerations. One of the remaining 2, Fireman's Park culvert removal, is the recommended choice because of associated pipe failures and limited capacity. My purpose here tonight is to support the city and ask that you select and move ahead to complete the recommended Fireman's Park culvert removal project next year. Finally, I respectfully ask that the city develop a means of providing information to city residents about the status of stormwater projects, funding, and specific project progress. Something as simple as posting plan information on the city's website or semi-annual updates at council meetings would greatly be appreciated. Thank you for your considerations.
Thank you. Is there anybody else who was not able to sign up to speak who would like to speak? Okay, hearing none. Next on the agenda is department reports. You'll find those included in your packet from DPW, the fire, library, police, treasurer, and wastewater treatment plant. Next on the agenda is to discuss bids and contract agreement for lawn mowing at the Hillside Cemetery.
So Public Works had, I guess, put out for bid to have mowing at the Hillside Cemetery. And by the end of the deadline, we had received two different quotes that met the requirements of that bid. One from Lakeside Lawn Care and then one from The Ground Up out of Fall River. The total cost from Lakeside was $56,160, and I think it was $78,690 from the other contractor. So the bid tab is in there along with draft contracts for consideration.
Question.
Alder Moda?
What is the savings moving from having our seasonal staff do this to a contractor?
That I would have to check, because I don't know the answer.
Alder Gray?
Oh, kind of on Alder's motives mentioned, I don't think there would be any savings. I think this is actually more expensive. I think the problem is our current DPW, we don't have enough seasonal employees to do it. We have DPW workers out there doing it. We have an understaffed DPW. It's just not realistic for us to try to do it ourselves. I think it's not a financial consideration, it's a labor consideration.
I'm still curious, though.
I'm happy that we got more than one person bidding, and that it seems to be a much more reasonable number than it was last time, which is why we went to where we're at. Like, personally, I'm fine moving forward with Lakeside Lawn Care.
Okay. Any other questions or comments? Alder Steiner?
I'm good with Lakeside Lawn Care too. I think this will be a big relief on DPW trying to figure out seasonal help and having them use our equipment to take care of the cemetery.
Yeah, Hannah?
And I'm good with going with Lakeside Lawn Care also. Just, it is, if you can keep it in-house, it's always probably more beneficial. But I had, several of the DPW people tell me that if it weren't for a dry year, there's just no way that they could have kept up this year, because it's just with everything that they had going on. So that's all I have.
Alder Finkler?
I'm also for Lakeside Lawn Care.
Any other input? Is everybody comfortable moving forward with Lakeside Lawn Care? Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, no, not at all. Yeah, well, I'm really hoping that one of these years we can get to a point where we're fully staffed with talented mowers and trimmers who have the time in their schedule and the ability. Yeah, I think I'm ready to go with Lakeside for this year.
Okay. All right. We will move that forward to the next Common Council meeting then, with the recommendation of Lakeside Lawn Care. Next item on the agenda is to discuss stormwater. And Lisa, did you want to start that discussion as well?
So I think Elder Gray had requested this be put on for further discussion. So Jason couldn't be here, but there's a memo attached kind of outlining what we've been up to, or what he's been up to. There's obviously the 3 projects that were noted as potentially being in the 2024 budget. He is also, if you guys remember in the plan, it talks about trying to consolidate some of the various stormwater and erosion control provisions that we have throughout various ordinances and trying to bring them into a compact place, making sure that they're consistent and maybe beefing them up a little bit. So he's working on a draft that is supposed to be coming to staff here shortly. One of the other things we talked about, like the development review team, is heading into, that next election to try to establish the utility, trying to find a citizens group so that it's not the city going door to door providing information. It's a passionate group of people that understand this, that can talk to the citizens themselves. So I think we need to go about trying to figure out who would lead that and how they
Mr.
get
Curtis,
organized to do that.
perhaps?
What was that?
Mr. Curtis, perhaps?
Yeah. No? But yeah, I mean, it's definitely a lot easier to have people that are citizens themselves that understand that to go out than for me as the city to try to convince somebody that this is not just us trying to get more money. It's got a legitimate purpose. And I think the last thing that Jason kind of mentions that him and I have talked about is impact fees. And trying to look at where areas of expansion to some of our stormwater facilities are necessary so that when new development comes in, they're paying their way ahead of time versus it lying on the taxpayers that have been here for a while. So there's a number of different things we can start to go after and avenues. We just have to coordinate and get there.
Alder Finkler?
Yeah, I just have a question on number 1. Are we able to at least start that process? I know it's a 3 to 5 years minimum to get approval, but how much resources would it take for us to just start moving on that process? It's a high priority item. We don't have to budget it in 2024, but 3 to 5 years just to get approval, we need to get moving on that.
I would have to talk to Jason. Do you remember, Mayor, if this is the one where we started those conversations as part of a road project? Is this the one he was talking about?
Yeah, this was one that back in 2017, when James Street was redone, that they tried to work with the DOT to get this done, and the DOT just flat out refused to work with us. There is still hope, I think, from what Jason had said at a, I don't know, some meeting maybe a few months ago or whatever, that this could still be some input from the DOT to accomplish this. But it is, with all the DOT permitting and all that, it's obviously a longer item to get to that point, so.
But I think we could start discussions.
Yeah.
I mean, if that's the issue, is starting discussions and trying to get us to that point, we could start discussions.
I would like that. I mean, if the last time we tried was 2017, it'd be nice to at least, try to start those conversations to see where we can go. I just don't know how labor intensive it would be, but it's not a bad idea to get the ball rolling.
Alder Reed?
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I was so glad to hear Lisa's commentary a moment ago. I did have a citizen call pretty recently, and she was looking for city help in organizing a neighborhood group to start working on some culverts. So just that there's definitely, some hope out there for getting the citizens involved, getting extra work done, and, maybe saving a little money. So I will definitely forward her.
Send her my way? Yep.
Send her your way.
Alder Gray?
So honestly, one of my first things was exactly what Alder Finkler already mentioned. I think that's it's prudent, and I think that's one of the major projects we should be looking at in perhaps 2025, or if it has to take a little bit longer than that. But we need to start working on it. And I think that will also help us going to a potential referendum in the future if we are in progress of trying to work on something and they know the next project that we're doing. I think we need a better layout of things. So that's my first thing. My second is I just want to clarify for everyone what we put in the budget and what projects that we intend to do in 2024. Because I don't think that was ever really clear. That was part of my reason of wanting this on the agenda tonight, is so that citizens understand what we're budgeting for and what we intend to do in 2024. So I know we spoke about doing the Fireman's Park culvert in 2024 was the big thing. To clarify, are we intending to also do the annual, replacing of storm sewers and annual maintenance, inlet maintenance on top of that? Or?
I don't believe so. I don't believe that was budgeted, correct?
Well, as far as I understand, Jason said it's not been exactly planned out when and where. They could probably look into that to get started, and some of that may be able to be done with the DPW in-house.
Right.
So he wasn't prepared to make a formal, decision and explaining, okay, we should do this in this budget year, this in that budget year. So our discussions together, the three of us, were let's just get this one going and then make a plan for which, doing the annual maintenance, what areas, list them out, make a plan.
Right, yeah.
We couldn't throw a plan together in a couple days.
Yeah. No, and that's fair. I wish the discussions were a little more ongoing. So I think that's another thing that, along with the James Street culvert, we need to start discussing and planning for. I think that'll also help with going to referendum in the future if we know what, things we're doing on a maintenance schedule per year. So to clarify, we are budgeting to remove the culvert from Fireman's Park is the primary project that we're budgeting for this year. I don't think it was super clear to constituents, so I wanted to make that very clear.
Mayor Hammer?
We had discussed just briefly today at agenda meeting with Lisa and Pat on if we were to look for a referendum in 2024, that we would look to the November, bigger turnout, but also a lot more public information time. Yeah, and then Pat would also get us a timeline as to where we need to be, when we need to be and such, so. So 2025, I mean, even if we could get it worked out with the state, James Street couldn't be done in 2025 because we have the mill and overlay of 73 through town that year, so it would have to be pushed further.
Alder Steiner?
I just want to comment that I think that starting with the Fireman's Park culvert and opening that up will solve a lot of problems, and I think that'll get the ball rolling on anyone who has questions of what stormwater issues are in the city and the impact that'll have all the way down the line on Second Ward Creek. I walk past it all the time, and it's literally at a standstill and just rising and lowering. So, I mean, anything we can do to help increase that capacity and move it along will help everyone down the line. Last time we did it, it was just sort of like, we need money for this. Now we can actually budget, get it going. I think people will be more interested in actually moving forward with this. And as long as we keep the discussions up, everyone can get behind this a little bit better. And the maintenance of it down the line, there's a lot to do, but one step at a time.
Any other thoughts? Okay. Lisa, do you have all the input you need?
Yep.
Okay. Next item on the agenda is to discuss the 2024 budget. And Lisa or Crystal, did one of you want to start there?
Did you want to do this? It's your baby.
If you take and fold it in half, this is what's been going into your ad every year, the left side. That's what's been going into your ad every year. And when I looked at that, it didn't dawn on me till I'd got it into, I'd revamped the spreadsheet, that it was missing some pieces that are required by state statute. So it grew, because we have a lot of funds at the city. So, and then we had to add, one of the other requirements is to disclose what your projection for the end of your current year, that's the year we're in, 2023, how much general obligation debt you have. So that was added to the bottom on the left. Okay, so everything matches the budget that you got last week. All right, the only difference was the garbage fund. So, what page are we on? Did any of you have questions on what I've drafted so far for the recycling and garbage fund? We're talking page 25 in your budget. I'll just point out a couple things there for you. All right, so right now I have done some just preliminary calculations of what I think our garbage contract is going to cost us. All the other types of expenses are pretty static. We know what those are. It's the collection fees, garbage, recycling. The code number ends in 296. It's about mid down. It's the first big number in the budget on your expenses. So that number is the one that could fluctuate between now and November 7th. And then if you look at the top, it would correlate to any change in the very top line. That is your charges to residents. So those two numbers, if I move one, the other one's going to go. So they will be equal changes no matter what I do at this point. So when I calculate the fee, and I know how many carts we really have in the city, which graciously Ally asked me the other day, do you have a project for me? And I said, yes, I do. So she is going through our entire tax roll, looking at every parcel, and making sure we are charging them for carts that they have at their residence. So where we have disconnect and we're not sure, I'm sending her out to the house to look. So she's going through our entire list. Because I don't want to all of a sudden get this huge bill because LRS went out and found all our carts, and we get charged a bigger bill than we're charging to the residents. So we're looking at that in detail. So once I have those counts, then I'll know what the rate should be, but then that's also going to drive the number of carts that they're going to charge us for. So right now, your bottom line will stay 0. We're netting out the fund to getting it to balance through the charges and the other small fees that we charge. Okay, so that's what I've drafted in here.
Alder Gray?
Just one quick question.
Okay.
Would Columbia County be able to just give you the information of how many carts are at which houses?
We asked them, and they have just a total on their bill, and it does not match our tax roll.
Oh, lovely.
So we're pulling information from all over. We even got extra information from Pat, who, when a home is established and gets an address, we've got those records for the past several years. So we're trying to identify them all.
So we don't even really know if we're paying a fair amount for our garbage bins or not. That's interesting.
They set a certain dollar amount, and at this point, I don't think they are budging, no matter what.
Yeah,
I don't think they know how many they have in our city, to tell you the truth.
Alder Motive?
What is the status of getting the water and light budget? The council is supposed to approve that after the commission does, and then that's supposed to be approved in final at the same time as this.
Your meeting is Thursday.
Thursday, and I think that's fine. That's being presented in final.
Okay, so then it needs to come to council.
Then it would need to be here for the 7th,
Okay.
meeting on the 7th.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Mary
Well,
Ann? Oh,
I thought
No,
I'd point out one more thing.
Yeah.
Oh, did you have a question, Mayor?
No, I hit this
So, Alder Motive, I just wanted to point out the cemetery budget is on page 26. So if you'll notice in our current year, it's middle of the page, 12/31/2023 projected. Cemetery wages of $5,055, and there's an amount of added Social Security that needed to go to that. These wages here were being driven by an allocation that was set a few years ago. And so it does not exactly match the timesheets and how much time they really spent there. We think it was under budgeted, maybe 3%, something like that, from their total wages. And I did pull together some information through Tori and the timesheet process that she has in place with DPW. So we did look at it, and it was being under allocated. But then they reminded me of something you heard just a moment ago, that it was a very dry year. So they would have spent a lot more time out there. And one of the big issues I heard in that discussion was also, like we've been looking at this past while, about being able to get employees into those positions for summer help.
Any additional questions? Is everybody comfortable moving the proposed budget ad for publishing in advance of the public hearing to be held on November 7th forward?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Moving right along, the next item on the agenda is to convene to closed session per State Statute 19.851E, deliberating or negotiating the purchase of public properties, the investment of public funds, or conducting other public business whenever competitive or bargaining reasons require a closed session, specifically to discuss potential sale of 1400 Park Avenue in the city of Columbus. And I would take a motion to move into closed session.
Alder Motif will make a motion to move to closed session as per 19851E to discuss potential sale of 1400 Park Avenue.
Alder Finkler will second.
Okay, thank you. I have a motion from Alder Motif and a second from Alder Finkler. Could I have a roll call vote, please?
Hammer,
Aye.
Gray,
Aye.
Motif,
Aye.
Reed,
Aye.
Rolke,
Aye.
Steiner,
Aye.
Winkler.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you. We are in closed session. We will not be coming back to the air this evening. Thank you, everybody. Have a nice night.